This is OneWrestling.com, 24/7 wrestling news.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I am the Mark of the Masters, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk about a really fun topic today. Now, I did a top 5 video about a year and a half ago. I sent it to Bill after, and you guys know that, I basically do TNA recaps every single week here at OneWrestling.com. Now, I am thinking about doing a series of top 5s, and I said, you know what would be an interesting top 5? What would be good to hear from the fans? So I said, you know what? My top 5 jobbers of all time. Now you ask me, what's a jobber? What the heck is a jobber? A jobber is, well, basically his job is, or her job is, to make the superstar look really, really good. Let's say if you're a heel jobber, your job is to make the baby face look really, really good in the ring. If you're a face jobber, your job is to make that monster bad guy look really strong and powerful. So basically, a jobber's job is one of the most important jobs in wrestling. And these are my opinion. I would like to know what you guys think. Please leave your list of your top 5 jobbers of all time down below here at OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestling video. Hit me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Leave me a tweet, send me a direct message. Let me know what you guys think, and give me some ideas of what you think, or maybe what top 5s you would like to see me do. Anyway, let's jump right into this. And my first guy, we're gonna start from 5 and work our way up to number 1. My first guy, he comes from Antigua in the West Indies. He is Special Delivery, S.D. Jones. Now, if you look at S.D. Jones for what he actually was a big, strong guy. He was really good in the ring. S.D. Jones, actually, when he first started, got kind of a push. He actually won a Battle Royal. He tied in the Battle Royal. I guess he was eliminated at the same time with Tony Atlas, and he won the Battle Royal, but a coin flip. I've never heard of that before, so that might be one of the only times anyone has ever won a Battle Royal or a match by a coin flip. But that's actually notable. But the most notable thing, and he did the ultimate job to King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 1. He lost the match in 9 seconds, getting hit with the avalanche and the big splash. Yes, S.D. Jones losing. And one of his career highlights, he actually inducted his good friend Tony Atlas into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2006. So, my number 5 guy is Special Delivery, S.D. Jones. My number 4 guy is, well, self-proclaimed Canada's favorite, or Canada's most prominent, or Canada's most popular athlete, Mr. Iron Mike Sharpe. I think Gorilla Monsoon once said, Iron Mike Sharpe has the slowest healing injury he's ever seen. Iron Mike Sharpe always wore this leather band around his wrist. And apparently it was because of a forearm injury, but he actually used it as a weapon. He was one of the very few jobbers that I remember having a gimmick. And also, he had the uncanny ability to get heat from the crowd. I mean, this guy, every time he threw a punch, every time he threw a kick, he would yell. And he would tell people to shut up. The fans would call him a wimp, and he would lose his mind. Iron Mike Sharpe was one of the more prominent jobbers and made the baby faces look really good. He was actually one of the very few jobbers that was in the ring, and you looked at this guy, because he was a big, strong, mean-looking guy, and you said, you know what, this guy has a chance. This guy might win the match. He had a couple of wins here and there against other jobbers, but Iron Mike Sharpe, again, for me, is my number 4 guy. Now, my number 3 guy, technically, I think is the best wrestler out of my top 5. He is the son of Lanny Poffo, the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage. It is Leaping Lanny Poffo. Leaping Lanny Poffo was phenomenal in the ring. And later on, he became a pretty decent manager as the Genius. But Leaping Lanny Poffo, as a jobber, was one of the best. He was a very, very good babyface. He got a lot of love from the fans, and he was most noted for writing these really cool little poems, reading them off. Basically, he would be mocking the heel, and then they would be taped to the bottom of a frisbee, and he would toss them into the audience. Leaping Lanny Poffo had a couple of wins here, had a couple of wins there. Never became the superstar that his brother did, Macho Man Randy Savage. But Leaping Lanny Poffo till today, from what I know, still wrestles independently, and he is, for me, one of the most prominent guys. Now, my number 2 guy is Mr. Steve Lombardi, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Brawler. This is one of the only, as far as I know, one of the only jobbers to ever work his way up to getting one of the greatest managers, Bobby the Brain Heenan, to be his manager as the Brooklyn Brawler. But let's talk about Steve Lombardi, the jobber. Steve Lombardi also had the uncanny ability to get heat from the crowd. Steve Lombardi was excellent at making the babyface look fantastic. And again, later on, as the Brooklyn Brawler, he did get a little push, but he basically went back to becoming a jobber again. But Steve Lombardi, why did I pick him number 2? I mean, it has nothing to do with the fact that he still works for the WWE nowadays, but the fact is that if I say to anyone, even a non-wrestling fan, the Brooklyn Brawler, more than likely they know who this guy is. This guy jobbed to some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Again, my number 2, Brooklyn Brawler. Now, my number 1 guy, speaking about non-fans knowing who a wrestler is, if I went up to a non-wrestling fan who casually watched wrestling, let's just say in the 80s, and I did this, you already know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the winner, Barry Horowitz. Now, Barry Horowitz was great in the ring, and he spent most of his time as a heel, as a heel jobber. But he actually wrestled, I think it was in 1995 against Skip of the Body Donis, and at that time Skip was getting a big push. He had Sonny on his side. I don't know if you remember the beautiful Sonny, but he actually got a roll-up win on television on Skip. And I can't remember who the announcer was, but I do remember the fact that he said, "Barry Horowitz wins! Horowitz wins! Horowitz wins!" Don't remember if that was Jim Ross. Please leave a comment below. Let me know who that was. But Barry Horowitz actually made a career out of that one win. He later on moved on to the GW. Oh, in 1995, actually, Bill Apter was basically the man at the PWI, or Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and Barry Horowitz was actually voted the most inspirational wrestler in 1995 by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Later on, he would continue on to work for WCW, and he would be a prominent member. He would job there too, but he wrestled for the Global Wrestling Federation, the GWF, and he actually won the light heavyweight title twice. Most notably defeating Jerry Lynn for one of those 2 title runs. So Barry Horowitz actually made a career out of that one win. And again, he's one of the very few wrestlers that if you did this, you would know who I'm talking about. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my top 5 jobbers of all time. Remember, number 5, S.D. Jones. Number 4, Iron Mike Sharpe. Number 3, Leaping Lanny Poffo. Number 4, Steve Lombardi, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Brawler, who also wrestled. He was also, if I didn't mention it before, he played Kim Chi. He was Kamala's manager, and he also played Doink the Clown a few times. But anyway, and my number 1 jobber of all times, Barry Horowitz, the winner. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /Wrestling Video, One Wrestling Video. You can follow us on Twitter at One Wrestling, and follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this all the time. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, look out for my TNA recaps. Slammiversary, depending on when you're watching, this is right around the corner. I'm looking to do a big recap of that. But again, this is just for a little fun. So please leave your comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.